January 29th, 2026, Donald Trump threatened to decertify every single aircraft built in Canada, every plane, every jet, over a business dispute about Gulfstream certifications. Hit subscribe because that threat just destroyed America's most valuable defense export, the $1.7 trillion F-35 program. And Trump doesn't even realize what he's done. Let me show you exactly what happened, because this isn't one country having second thoughts. This is 15 allied nations watching Trump's aircraft threat and asking themselves the same terrifying question. Can we really trust American weapons systems when this man controls them? The F-35 fighter jet is the largest weapons program in human history. Over $1.7 trillion invested, 15 countries committed, hundreds already flying, thousands on order. The entire democratic world integrated into one air force, one supply chain, one platform. And Trump just revealed its fatal weakness. When Trump threatened Canadian aircraft on January 29th, he thought he was playing hardball on trade. What he actually did was expose the vulnerability at the heart of every F-35 flying outside the United States. Software dependency, total software dependency, on America, on American servers, on American approval, on Donald Trump. Share this video with everyone you know, because here's what most people don't understand about the F-35. It's not just an aircraft, it's a software system. And that software is controlled entirely by the United States. Every F-35 depends on mission data files. These files are the aircraft's brain. They tell pilots what threats exist, where enemy radars are located, how to identify friend from foe, how to fight. Without these files, an F-35 can fly, but it cannot fight. It's a $100 million paperweight. And those files are updated constantly, weekly, sometimes daily during conflict, created in American facilities, controlled by American officials, distributed through American servers. Every allied F-35 pilot must connect to United States-based systems to get combat capability. Europe discovered this the hard way. A 2025 Le Monde investigation revealed European F-35 pilots submit flight data to American servers before missions. The servers control access to combat functionality. No American approval, no combat capability. Germany got hit even harder. They spent 8.3 billion euros on F-35 seconds. 8.3 billion euros. Then they read the Foreign Military Sales Agreement fine print. Quote, the United States reserves the right to suspend or terminate support at its discretion. End quote. Let that sink in. Germany spent 8.3 billion euros on fighter jets America can shut down whenever it wants. Make sure you're subscribed to Daniel Cross Show because there's one exception to this nightmare. One country that doesn't depend on American software. Israel. Israel's F-35I Adir variant has independent software capability. Israeli engineers modify mission systems without American approval, integrate their own weapons, update threat libraries, control their own aircraft completely. Why? Because Israel negotiated that freedom before buying. They saw the dependency trap, they refused to accept it, they demanded sovereignty over their own weapons. Every other F-35 customer in the world, completely dependent on Washington. And that was fine when allies trusted American leadership, when they believed the United States would never weaponize that dependency, when they thought strategic partnership meant something. Then Trump threatened to ground Canadian aircraft over business jets. Wolfgang Ischinger saw it immediately, former head of the Munich Security Conference, one of Europe's top defense strategists. He told Germany's Bild newspaper that if America becomes unreliable, European F-35 seconds could become useless. Quote, not from enemy action, from American policy, end quote. That quote terrified defense ministries across Europe, because Ischinger just said out loud what every allied defense official was thinking: Trump controls our most advanced fighters. And Trump is completely unpredictable. Spain acted first. August 2025. Spain canceled its entire F-35 purchase, scrapped plans for up to 60 jets, billions of dollars redirected to European alternatives, Eurofighter Typhoon, Future Combat Air System, anything that doesn't depend on American software. Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez explained why. Quote, Spain refuses to increase defense dependence on suppliers whose political leadership is unpredictable. End quote. Unpredictable. He's talking about Trump. Spain just walked away from the F-35 because they can't trust Donald Trump not to shut their fighters down during a trade dispute. Switzerland is reconsidering. They approved 36 F-35 seconds in a 2022 referendum. Now costs are spiraling. Trump imposed tariffs on Swiss exports. The entire deal is under political fire. Opposition parties demanding cancellation. Portugal announced in March 2025 they're reassessing future fighter purchases, their exact words, quote, geopolitical unpredictability in Washington, end quote. Even the Netherlands is publicly discussing kill switch concerns. The Netherlands, one of America's closest F-35 partners, one of the original development countries. And they're talking about kill switches, about America remotely disabling their fighters. Their defense minister dismisses the concerns, but the fact they're being discussed at all shows how badly Trump destroyed Allied trust. Check out these numbers. European defense spending on American weapons exploded after Russia invaded Ukraine. Foreign military sales from the United States to Europe jumped from $11 billion annually to $68 billion in 2024. $68 billion. In 1 year, Europe bought American weapons to defend against Russia. They trusted America. They integrated American systems into their militaries. They became dependent. And Trump is teaching them that dependency was a catastrophic mistake. Germany is building its own missile tracking satellites now, specifically to avoid U.S. space surveillance dependence. Major General Michael Traut, head of Germany's Space Command, said Europe, quote, depends on the United States in all aspects of space capability, and Germany can't afford that anymore. End quote. France and Germany are accelerating FCAS, their sixth-generation fighter program, specifically designed to escape F-35 dependency, build European fighters, European engines, European weapons. European software, no American control. The pattern is screaming. America's closest allies are actively planning to escape American weapons systems, not because the weapons don't work, because they can't trust the American president controlling them. So back to Canada. They haven't canceled their F-35 seconds yet, but watch this. The Australia-Canada-United Kingdom Reprogramming Laboratory at Eglin Air Force Base in Florida creates mission data files for all three countries' F-35 fleets. It's a joint facility, but it's on American soil, subject to American law, controlled by American policy, controlled by Donald Trump. If Trump decides tomorrow that Canada is being unfair to American business, something he already claims constantly, could he restrict Canadian access to those files? Ground the Canadian Air Force with a phone call? Legally? Maybe not, but Trump threatened to decertify Canadian aircraft over business jets. Legal authority didn't matter then. Every defense official in Ottawa is asking that question right now. Can we bet our national defense on weapons Donald Trump controls? And the answer they're reaching is terrifying for America. No, we can't. Share this with anyone who needs to understand what Trump just destroyed. The F-35 was supposed to bind allies closer. One aircraft, one supply chain, one integrated democratic air force facing down Russia and China together. Instead, Trump's chaos is pushing allies to do exactly what Moscow and Beijing want. Fragment Western air power, build separate systems, reduce interoperability, weaken the alliance. Lockheed Martin built the most advanced fighter jet in history, and Donald Trump is teaching allied nations they cannot depend on it. Not because of capability, the F-35 works brilliantly. Israel proved that striking Iranian air defenses, combat tested, combat proven. But capability isn't enough anymore. Allies need reliability. They need to know their weapons work when needed, regardless of American presidential mood swings, regardless of trade disputes, regardless of Trump's latest tantrum. And Trump just proved they can't have that reliability. Not with American systems, not with American software, not with American control. Here's the catastrophic endgame. Defense exports are America's strategic leverage. Countries buy American weapons. They integrate American systems. They depend on American support. That dependency keeps them aligned with American foreign policy, keeps them in the alliance, keeps them loyal. Trump is destroying that leverage, teaching the world's democracies to avoid American weapons, build alternatives, diversify suppliers, reduce dependence. Spain already left, Switzerland reconsidering, Portugal reassessing, Germany building satellites, France building fighters, the Netherlands discussing kill switches, and Canada. Canada watching everything, calculating, planning, asking whether their entire air force should depend on a man who threatened to ground their civilian aircraft over business jets. Make sure you stay subscribed because the July 2026 USMCA review is going to expose this even more. When Trump sits down with Canada and Mexico to renegotiate trade, when he makes demands, when he threatens, when he uses American market access as a weapon, every allied defense minister will be watching, asking themselves if this is the partner they want controlling their most advanced weapons systems, if this is the supplier they want their militaries depending on. The answer is becoming obvious: no. Trump promised to make America strong. Instead, he's teaching the entire democratic world one simple lesson: never depend on American technology if you can possibly avoid it. That lesson will cost America trillions in lost defense exports, thousands of high-paying manufacturing jobs, strategic leverage over allied nations, decades of carefully built military integration. And it will cost the democratic world something even more valuable: unity, interoperability, the ability to fight together as one force against authoritarian threats. The F-35 was supposed to be invincible. the unbeatable fighter jet binding allies together for generations. Donald Trump found its weakness, and it wasn't enemy missiles, it wasn't Chinese technology, it wasn't Russian innovation. It was American unreliability, it was software dependency, it was one man's chaos destroying allied trust in American weapons systems. And now 15 countries are asking themselves if they can afford to keep depending on America. The answer spreading across allied capitals is no. Build alternatives, find other suppliers, escape the dependency trap before Trump uses it as a weapon. January 29th, 2026. The day Trump threatened Canadian aircraft. The day the F-35 export program started dying. The day America's allies began their exodus from American weapons systems. And Trump still doesn't realize what he's done. Subscribe because this exodus is just beginning. More countries will reconsider, more allies will walk away, more defense ministers will choose sovereignty over dependency. Share this with anyone who thinks Trump's tough trade stance makes America stronger. It doesn't. It's destroying America's most valuable strategic export, allied trust. Leave a comment. Do you think Canada should cancel their F-35 seconds? Should allied nations trust American weapons systems when Trump controls them? The answer determines whether the F-35 program survives or dies. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.